In this video, we take on IVG, coach of the Houstan Tyrantrums. Will our defensive mons like Oinkalone and Archaludon be able to hold on against his offensive threats, or will they die trying? This is SPDA Week 1.
Okay, here we are connected with our Week 1 opponent, IVG, who is the coach of the Houstan Tyrantrums. We see the Garchomp, the Zapdos, the Metagross, the Inteleon, the Scrafty, and the Cryogonal. So really only the thing that I'm really worried about is that Metagross. We don't see the Rabombi, but I think I'm still going to lead with my Zahir. We're having those avatar names because our team is avatar themed. And I'm just going to keep that there so I can write down the mons that he brought. So let me pull up Showdown, Team Builders, and I see we saw the Inteleon, we saw the Cryogonal, we saw the Metagross, and our time might be coming up now. So let me just go ahead and hit done. The Metagross, the Scrafty, the Zapdos, and the Garchomp are what we have left. So Scrafty, Zapdos, and Garchomp. Okay, good luck to have fun to my opponent. And so we both have the same Kitakami hairstyle. So we see the Falcon starting us off. So not a great lead on our end. We very surely want to get out of here. We do not want to take anything. He's probably going to Volt Switch though. We do not have, well, I do have Icy Wind. I know Icy Wind won't do a lot. Let's not risk it. Let's play it safe, actually. So we're just going to go into our Zalfu, which is what we designed this thing for. It should be able to take a Heat Wave. It should be able to take a Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Discharge, anything like that. So we do see the Discharge, and it does nothing. No Para, great. And we have a Stamina boost now. Okay, so what do we expect to come out? The Garchomp could come out, the Metagross could come out, really anything. I think my safest play is probably a Dragon Pulse in hopes to catch the Garchomp. Let me just calc to see which does more to the Garchomp. So let's say he is a defensive set, and I am already at +1 defense. The Dragon Pulse will do like 80% to it. So we are just going to kick off a Dragon Pulse, hoping to catch the Garchomp coming in. So we see the withdrawal from Ivy's side, and then the Colt, which is the Scrafty. Okay, Scrafty comes out, gets an Intimidate, which really doesn't matter because we're a special attacker. We go for the... Oh, that is interesting. So Scrafty is... Oh, that is very interesting. I think the play is to go out into Zahir, but it looks like Scrafty is some sort of Assault Vest. So let's just verify those calcs. So Scrafty. Yeah, Dragon Pulse should have done like 30. It is very specially defensive already, but with an Assault Vest, let's see, with an Assault Vest, yeah, that's definitely AV. So I think the best play is to go to our Zahir. He could Ice Punch. Let me see how much our Katara takes. Oh, and we're running out of time. Okay, we'll just go into Zahir. Sorry. Maybe he could Ice Punch. I think he does have the Elemental Punches. But I'm expecting a fighting move to come off right here. And so he's just the Zahir. Maybe he'll predict it. Okay, knock off. So we lose our boots. That did a lot. That did way too much. So, but I'm glad we didn't lose the Assault Vest on our Azumarill. So Bleakwind Storm to Scrafty with an Assault Vest should do about half. Let me make sure it gets the Elemental Punches, right? I think it does. It does get Ice Punch. It does get Thunder Punch. And it does outspeed Azumarill. So we may lose our Zahir here, but it was designed for the Rabambi, so I think I'm okay with it going down. So we're going to go ahead and hit Bleak Windstorm. I don't love this. Okay, so he switches out. Great. We'll probably see the Zapdos coming out here. He could eat, and Falcon, I believe, is that Zapdos. So we do see the Bleak Windstorm coming off. I don't remember if there's a chance for confusion, but we do not see the confusion. Let's see if that can tell us anything about the Zapdos's build. So Tornadus versus Zapdos. Is he physically defensive? So Bleak Windstorm to a physically defensive should do about 25%. And that does look like 25%. So I would say this is a physically defensive Zapdos. He already knows what we're going to go into. He knows we're going to go into our Zalfu. So let's just go there. And so he is probably going to Volt Switch out and go right back to his Scrafty. I think we're at this time where we're just playing these games. So we do see the Discharge again. We'll probably get the Para now. Oh, wow. No Para. Okay, good. I'm always just such a pessimist with that Para luck. So last time we saw the Dragon Pulse, we did the Dragon Pulse against the Scrafty. And so Scrafty, I believe, will take neutral damage from a Body Press. So I think now is when we want to go for a Body Press. And so let's just go for that Body Press. So he does withdraw. Show me the Scrafty. Let's see if that Scrafty comes out. So Colt comes out, which I believe is the Scrafty, right? Perfect. Great prediction on there. We do get an Intimidate, which I don't even remember. Oh my gosh, that did so much. That was a critical hit. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, I was really surprised by how much that did. Yeah, so that does help us in the long run. Let me just calculate that right now. So Body Press should have been doing 45 maximum to that. So that definitely did roll in our favor. We would have took another one. We would have had to play some Drain Punch game. So, but let me just write down in my notes to keep track that. Archaludon KOs Scrafty with Body Press. I'm trying really hard to make sure my keyboard isn't too loud for the recording. So what can he do now? Garchomp is an easy go-to right now. It's easy for him to go to Garchomp. Because of his damage from Zapdos, he should know that I'm especially defensive. He should be able to look at it and be like, okay, it's AV, it is... We do have a little bit of defensive bulk because I'm worried about the Metagross. But Metagross is also an option if he wants to like EQ or something. So we see the Cowboy coming out, which is the Inteleon. Interesting. I am not sure what Inteleon can do to something like this. It's not a Terra Captain. Does Inteleon get any like fighting or ground moves? Maybe he's hoping for a crit. So I'm not really seeing any fighting moves. I'm not really seeing any ground moves either. Oh, there's a Vacuum Wave. If anything, Inteleon gets Vacuum Wave. So let's just calc the damage from that Inteleon because we do... Oh, I actually switched Dragon Pulse for Thunderbolt last second. So we can Dragon Pulse. It looks like Ice Beam maximum would do 30. A crit would do half. So a crit would not be great. I'm not really sure how Inteleon works with all the crits. Oh, but I forgot we're +1. Let's see what +1 Body Press does. So +1 still isn't doing as much as Dragon Pulse. So we're going to go for the Dragon Pulse. So we do see the Ice Beam come off. No freeze, please. No freeze. No freeze. Great. We get another stamina boost. And this Dragon Pulse should do a lot of damage, actually. It should do perfect. It takes it down to there. I am not too concerned about... Now that Scrafty is gone, I think I'm okay with this coming down. Oh, Zapdos. Zapdos is going to be pretty hard to deal with after this, and the Metagross too. So I think I want to save. I think I'm going to save the Inteleon. How much does it do to Azumarill? Let's see what it's doing to Azumarill. So to Azumarill, Ice Beam is doing 17%, but we still need to just hope that it doesn't get a freeze. So just because of, I don't want it to get too low, we're going to go into our Azumarill. We actually this week are not huge power, we're thick fat. No, actually I changed that to we're Sap Sipper, because I was really scared of the Sceptile. So we see the switch out. He switches out into Cryogonal, which is great. That's fine. We could have actually done a lot of damage there, especially if we went for something like a body press. But I think he read our switch out. So now we're in on the Cryogonal. So against the Cryogonal, and we are AV. Against the Cryogonal, it's going to do like 34%. So my play is to go into Oinkalong. If he's Terra Fighting, it's not going to do a Terra Fighting Terra Blast is not going to do too much. If it's Terra Steel, it also might not do too much. So Oinkalong is what I brought. Now Oinkalong is thick fat, and so we're just going to go into Oinkalong to be able to take our special defensive hit from the Cryogonal. And so we see the Oinkalong come out, which again was our 2-point mon. We see the Freeze Dry, which does nothing, abysmal damage. And so we should be able to get our Stuffed Cheeks off here. So Stuffed Cheeks will eat our Gamblin Berry. That'll give us a +1. And then just from having Stuffed Cheeks, we'll be at +3. So we'll be at +3 defense. And so any body press, really anything, is going to do some great damage. So we see the Gamblin Berry going. So we see the, Cryogonal coming out. So Zapdos comes out. I did forget about the Zapdos. So let's see how much this is going to do to a Zapdos. So at so Hurricane does a lot. Hurricane really does a lot. And so if we Terra Ghost Terra Blast, it's not going to do really anything. So this might not have been the best move on our end. My problem when I play Pokemon is that I'm always trying to, once I get something set up, I'm really afraid of switching out. But I think our best move is to switch out back into our Zalfu. And so I think that's where we're going to go. We're going to switch back out into our Zalfu. There's nothing wrong. We did lose our +3 defense, which is not great. So Metagross will be a problem. So it's really these bulky walls that we're seeing from him that's going to be a problem. So another Discharge does really anything, and still no Para. Come on, Zalfu. Zalfu in The Legend of Korra is one of those indestructible cities that ends up being taken over, but it just goes to show that it will continue to do what it needs to do. So last time it went into Inteleon as an answer. Dragon Pulse still does a lot. So if I were him, I'd probably just stay in Roost, but Dragon Pulse is going to be our move. And so we see Viking, which is the Cryogonal, comes out. So Cryogonal comes out. Boom. That doesn't do too much. We really should have predicted that the Cryogonal will come out. So, but now we see that it's either going to be fighting or ground as a Terra type to deal with Archaludon. Zahir can take both of those pretty well and be able to switch out. I'm not too worried about Azumarill also can take it with its Assault Vest, but if it does do something like Freeze Dry, I don't know why it would. So I think we're going to switch into Zahir just to see what kind of thing it wants to terrestrialize in. So it can be a fighting type, it can be a ground type, it can also be a steel type. I'm not expecting at all a Freeze Dry to come out. I don't think that's his best, and though we do see the Freeze Dry. Okay, so he did predict that, and he takes down our Zahir. So, well, not predict that, he was probably just going for his best move. So we see the Cryogonal. Freeze Dry really didn't do anything, so I don't know why he would go for something like that. So, let me just write down in my notes that Cryogonal KOs Zahir with Freeze Dry. Sorry, I have one of those loud keyboards. Is this where Spectrier can come in and do some damage? No, this is not where Spectrier can come in. So, this might be where Sneasler can come in, though. So let me just see. Sneasler versus Cryogonal. So close combat's going to do a lot. Even if it's Terra fighting, it Elcos. Even if it's Terra, its other Terra was ground. Terra ground, and I'm on an air balloon. So this is where, this is where we're going to go into Sneasler. I even think, do I get greedy? Do I go for a close one? I mean, do I go for an air balloon? I mean, do I go for a Swords Dance? because he doesn't have any ghost types, right? He didn't bring any ghost type Pokemon with him. So we see the Zapdos, we see the Metagross, we see the Garchomp. And so Freeze Dry is going to do like 34. If Metagross wants to come in and revenge kill it with like a Bullet Punch, how much would a Bullet Punch do? So Bullet Punch would also do about 34. So it would take like multiple Bullet Punches. So we're just gonna... I think I'm okay with Sword Dancing here. Okay, so he withdraws. And so let's see what he withdraws into. So he withdraws into the Falcon. See, now I'm starting to worry, like, did I see a Choice Scarf? Because, is he wearing a Choice Scarf? I don't remember if he's been Volt switching out or going for, Volt switch. I don't remember. Hurricane would truly destroy us. So I think it's time for us to go. We're going to go back into our Zalfu. We're going to play it safe. I know we just set up. I've done this twice so far. We've just set up and we set up. But I'm going to go back into our Zalfu. And I think on this way out, we're going to body press. I don't see any Hurricanes. Oh, and he misses. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's okay because Sneasler really wasn't doing much to it anyway. But we're going to body press expecting the Cryogonal to come out. It is an ice type. It should do a lot. And so let's just pay close attention now to if we see a Volt switch, because this thing might be specs. It might be choiced. It may be like a defensive EV set with more of a like offensive item. If he goes Garchomp, it's not going to be great just because then he could like Scale Shot, he could Sword Stance. So we see Viking, and this body press should hurt. It should do a lot. And so, that was so close. That was so close. It can recover, but it also could do its thing like usual. So I think, let me just see how much Terra Fighting does. So I'm an Archaludon, and my HP is 161. 161. This is a Cryogonal who is so fast. And so let's see. Terra Blast on a Terra Fighting. Terra Blast will do 36%. It doesn't kill me if he has like no investment, which I don't think he does. But I think our safe play is still... how much does it do? I think our safe play is still Azumarill, and then we should be able to KO it with an Aqua Jet. So Katara comes out. We are looking at the Cryogonal. It's probably... Oh, we see Reflect. That is interesting. So it's protecting its team from physical moves. Is my team mostly physical? It is mostly physical. My only special attacker right now are Zalfu and Batsu. So we should be able to just pick this off with an Aqua Jet. He wants to save it? Oh my gosh, what is this guy doing? That's so crazy. So he goes to save it. We Aqua Jet the bird. It doesn't do anything at all. So this is still a really close game. Like, anybody could win this game here. My advice when I drafted Spectrier was to save it as like a late game sweeper. So we're gonna go to Zalfu again. He is slowly whittling down my Zalfu, which is not great. I think this last time that I bring it in will be the last time that I'll be able to bring it in, just because of the damage. No. And we'll be right back.